my place of dwelling, by the way. So I'm going through that process. But on this journey, I want to say thank you to all that have continued to rock with the channel, that have supported me, that have been loyal. Many of you I've talked to, spoken with behind the scenes, I still stay in contact with. And in terms of the redemption education or sovereignty, you know that that information, there's been a leapfrog in the technology and the information. And I felt that I needed to go back to the laboratory before I used to do, I did consultations at one time. And the only reason was that because years ago I didn't allow originally uh, people to reach out to me, but I got so many requests that I had just decided to at the time to put it as an option. And then I had another large content creator reach out to me in terms of that study information related to redemption, sovereignty, and wanted to work with me. And that was, I appreciate her. That was a wonderful opportunity that still may be on the road, but I needed to go back to the laboratory. And I was only at a certain level when it came to that information, even though some would have considered me advanced. But there's been a leapfrog in the technology. A lot of people nowadays have a lot of the good information, by the way, because there's a lot of people there. It's very competitive nowadays. They're not holding back on information because of such. And people are just more people now because they found out that you can monetize and stuff like that from YouTube, and people are doing consultations. So it's become a lot more competitive. And there is good people out there. They're credible people that do really know how to articulate themselves. I would say a lot better than I do, that are talented, very much talented and advanced. And just to give you guys a heads up, so I felt I'm not no longer qualified. The information has outgrown me. It's even fast paced, fast moving, just like the IT, the information technology field, the computer field. When it comes to redemption education, I call it sovereignty, freedom. Information is moving at a fast pace. It is evolving, and the information has gotten a lot better. And there's a reason why there's different classes to educate oneself. Like, for example, there's class specifically on the IRS, privately doing your, things in a different capacity, where you will be considered in a different tax bracket. By the way, not the standard norm. There's classes for that. There's trust classes about dealing with, you have irrevocable trust, and you have revocable trust. There's classes for that. There's classes that deal with, like I gave an example to someone that reached out to me some years ago, a group that I was part of when this information was through word of mouth at one time. They had different teams, and I explained to this person how we had classes broken up into different subjects. So we had let's say a credit repair class or team. You had a tax team. You had a social security team. You had a team that focused on discharging debt. You had a team this could be related to banking. By the way, you had a trust team that just focused on how to structure your entities, your trust, your LLCs, or your revocable or irrevocable or common law express trust. These are separate classes, and they can get extensive. Just like when you were in college or you were in high school, and you needed to gather a foundation. So because there's been a leapfrog, I need to go back to the laboratory and make sure that my foundation is solid before I come back. And many of you all have shared with me, even now that good information is out there. There's a separate class on the arbitration process. Some are holding now. That's kind of new, where people are getting better at arbitration. QSIP class. There's court classes, by the way, challenging subject matter jurisdiction. Then there's separate information about how it was misconstrued that if you study sovereignty, that you were denying your citizenship, that you would not be able to get access to welfare food stamps anymore, which was found out to be by some of the most advanced people that is not true. And you actually can claim and get back more once you learn, you get the solid foundation, because these jobs are not paying you an actual income, because the definition of IRS term income is convoluted. So you're looking at learning about remuneration to make sure that you're properly receiving remuneration because you weren't paid an income. And there's different accounting ledgers with how payments are applied. And the elites, what they did behind the scenes, they made this information very hidden, very meticulous. So that's why I said I needed to go back to the laboratory and make sure I establish a better foundation myself. But I do have years of experience that has helped me out in certain regards in understanding contract law and removing certain contracts and not engaging and knowing how to properly disengage, but still knowing how to use the public side at the same time, because those benefits are there for you as a beneficiary of the in lingus. That's the corporate, the legal term for straw man, or your legal entity. Your all caps name is in lingus. That is the court term for the legal fiction, which is stylized in the rules of grammar, capitis diminutio maxima, as the all caps name, capitis diminutio maxima, because this proves that the name, when it's stylized in all caps, you're being tricked into acquiescing when you enter into different contracts for your signature, and you enter in a certain way and you don't understand, you're being listed as a minor, lost at sea, or infant. That's because you didn't reach the age of majority. The concept when you turn 18 is actually when your birth certificate matured. You did not claim it, then you're still acting as a minor, or your signature card was not redone at your banking institution, and you're not endorsing your checks when banking, there's classes for this with restrictive endorsements and things. So things are coming together. Know a lot of things, even in my own studies, I went over a lot. It's spread apart because in the past you had a lot of gatekeeping with the information going on because gurus, so-called gurus, are trying to charge extra money to receive the additional information. Now a lot of it is out here because people that did have the money have now teamed up with other people, or they're giving it out freely. And even some of the advanced people have gotten more advanced themselves, and they're like masterminds now, creating master classes and teaming up, or have teamed up with other like-minded individuals. So there's been a leapfrog in the technology when it comes to sovereignty, or being properly being a sovereign citizen, but not a belligerent non-combatant. By the way, we're not where you're seeing videos, but you're seeing people that are properly having success, where they properly know how to execute without putting themselves in harm's way. If you understand, I explained to a friend of mine who's been on the fence about this for years, and he's starting to realize now, being skeptical, that there's truth to this information. There's even people, this was put out some years ago, people within the legal system that were studying the information, trying to learn themselves for various reasons. Some believe it was put out so could combat it, and others that genuinely were trying to use it, for whatever their own purposes were. I was on a private call not too long ago, and I sound like I heard a woman say, when she was asking a guy that did a court class about subject matter jurisdiction, how to challenge jurisdiction, by the way, and she sounded like she wasn't trying to mention, but she said opposing counsel. So when she said opposing counsel, that let me know that I assumed that she was a lawyer, was trying to, as she was stating her question, but she thanked the gentleman for sharing the information. So it sounded like she was trying not to reveal that she was an attorney or a member of the bar association when she said opposing counsel. And I said, so that let me know, was confirmation to me that there's people even within the judicial system that are learning this information. Is very real, despite there are a lot of people out there that are still brainwashed to the information they were taught on the public side, because the elites only intended for the general public to be taught certain information, while they themselves were taught exclusive information, and many times why they were taught by their parents or sent to private schools by invitation only, that had curriculums and things that are not taught in the public system, but specifically in their own private system that was exclusive to them by invitation only, or people that they recruit, seminars by invite to learn exclusive information. That's how they keep the information compartmentalized, and they keep even some of the smartest people dumbed down on the public side or ignorant to this type of information. Like, for example, I do try things out behind the scenes where I plan on moving from. I'll tell you guys a story, some things I did in the past, but something recently I sent over some paperwork to the property manager. He sent it over to corporate, to the chief financial officer. And it was, let's say it was related to the 1099. And let's say this guy, I looked up his credentials already, even the assistant, whatever. And she received the email as well, I'm assuming. But because he was the chief financial officer, he replied and stated that I was not the creditor and that the 1099s are only supposed to be used for foreclosure. By the way, specifically a statement, and know that there's different types of A's. You have C's, B's, OIDs, miscellaneous. It's different types of 1099. But he stated that I wasn't the creditor and that they were the lessee, I was the lessor, or something to that regard. And I said he simply just is not aware, doesn't know, even though all the years of schooling that he had in the college system, from looking up his credentials, didn't teach him the real information, or because it's kept hidden. A lot of people wonder, they didn't intend for people to be freeing themselves like this. They want to, basically, they have a stronghold over the system. So I said, because I'm moving anyway, you have to pick and choose your battles and things of that sort. But I thought I'd at least give it a try and looked into it. But those of you all that are highly advanced know that the lease agreement, because it's a financial instrument, it's a form of a negotiable instrument, it's a form of a promissory note, just like a car lease agreement, a rental agreement. All those agreements can be endorsed. And it's just a matter of going through the legwork, setting up appointments with brokerage firms, or speaking to proper bankers that have the proper credentials that can negotiate or properly monetize or securitize those instruments. Can be a headache for someone independently that's coming into this information, and especially if they're by themselves and you don't have a team. So when you have a team of people, you have encouragement behind you when there's someone by your side, or you're trying to help each other out. And some people do have that. A lot of people actually do, but some places I've spoke to people, a lot of people, when they study this type of information, they're on their own, and it's really difficult for them, by the way. So why this information can be complex, but it's very real. But I'm going to get ready to wrap things up. I just want to thank you guys that continue to stay loyal to the channel, that continue to rock with me, let you guys know where I had been. I'm in the process of moving, so I may not be doing videos for a while until I get, my new place I'm moving to. I get things set up. Pray my strength in the Lord, and I have maybe some other content down the road. Those of you all who do get positive encouragement and have reached out to me, text me, thank you all for your support. And until next time, you guys have a blessed and wonderful night, evening, wherever you're at. Take care. Bye.